Some people think about personal change in terms of self-esteem. And when they think about it, they think about it on an individual level, but also on a systems level. So, does the family have high self-esteem? Do the individuals within the family have high self-esteem? What is self-esteem? Well, Virginia Satir thought of it more as sort of like a pot of feeling good. And here you're going to see that we've got, come on, don't be shy. Here we've got somebody who has high self-esteem. And you can see the self-esteem right here, right? It's like a battery. It's all filled up. I'm happy. I'm feeling good. And what is that? That's like a lot of inner resources, right? So they're definitely not hungry, angry, lonely, tired. HALT, HALT. So they have the resources inside them to be able to be responsive to themselves and to others, but they also have a bank of feeling good about themselves, not just in a bravado kind of way, but in real database so that they can go back to files and say, yeah, I do know how to do that. So they have a history of feeling competent in different things and to feeling accepted and not feeling judged. You want to kill love. Criticism is the quickest way to do that. So this is having high self-esteem. So you've got an inner reserve. It feels like your battery's full. You have enough to give over, and you believe in yourself enough to give to others. And then you have this one. Well, this one's battery is really low. You can see, right? Barely operate on fumes. So this one is going to be less resourceful. This is you at the end of the day. You've come home, you're really tired, you haven't eaten, it's been a long commute, you've got still more things ahead of you. You walk in, the house is a mess, and whatever you thought was going to happen, like maybe you thought food was going to be available, is not, and you blow it. And you blow it not because the situation really warrants it, but because you don't have the reserve to be able to handle it in a more competent, loving, resourceful way. This is crappy when it's two people. It's really bad when it's parent to child because the child relies so heavily on being affirmed that they are okay and safe in this world by this one, by the parent. So if the parent isn't able to be resourceful, it can have long-term effects on how this one feels about themselves. So part of it is this one can have a higher battery level if they got a bunch of feel-good feelings throughout their lives. It doesn't mean that they didn't experience stress or hardship, but it meant that they never doubted their own personal worth and never doubted that those closest to them really believed in them and that holds them and that it helps them get through some of the hard times. So in this approach, you're looking at self-esteem, and you can think of self-esteem as a battery. You can think of self-esteem as how resourceful people feel within inside themselves. So just like a battery, it can rise and lower as far as its energy storage. And so on a daily basis, you as an individual are required to make sure that your battery is full. This is especially true if you're an adult. If you're a child, you're really relying on that adult to help you fill that battery because you don't have all the abilities yet. As an adult, your job is really to maintain that self-esteem, to maintain that battery. And so that means that you take care of yourself well, that you love yourself in a way that helps that battery stay charged. And the only one who can charge that battery as an adult is you. Nobody else can give you affirmations or self-esteem. It's your job to make sure that you take care of yourself, eat well, sleep, get support when you need it, how you talk to yourself. So one theory has it that I can't even remember, it's like 20,000 words we say to ourselves in a day. It's probably more than that. We talk to ourselves a lot, and that much of our talk can be very critical. And every time you're talking to yourself in a critical, negative, judging way, the energy is going down and down. You're draining your battery. So be mindful of how you talk to yourself. Be mindful of how you talk to others. Be mindful of how you take care of yourself. So self-esteem as a resource, as a muscle that you can work out every day. In fact, if you don't work it out, it gets weaker. As a battery that can store up your resources and make you feel competent and flexible in really tough situations. Also, something that you can feel dropping if your resources were poor. And that can be poor just because the day was hard and you haven't been able to take care of yourself, or poor because your environment is so stressful and lacks resources that would help you feel good about yourself. So why are there more billboards for alcohol in poor neighborhoods than wealthy neighborhoods? Well, marketing. The marketers have already figured out that if you don't feel very good about yourself, you're more likely to use substances in order to try to feel better. So this becomes a cycle. You could probably make a good case that most people who are addicted to a substance self-medicate, and much of that self-medication is because of how they feel about themselves. It doesn't mean that, oh, I am so sorry. That's okay, because I've got high self-esteem and I can bounce back. That's my resiliency. Yeah, I don't have that. Okay, so this is just one way of looking at people's ability to function. And you can imagine that if it is based upon self-esteem and feeling resourceful, what our role as social workers might be.